Hi, everyone. This is Annie. Welcome to Rise Up and Heal. Today, I am super excited that I have Reggie Bowles, who is not only a life coach, but he is the founder of Dreamers of the Day. This is where the focus is blending the law of attraction in with practical life strategies that you can use as basically for manifesting and helping you heal with your life's journey. So, Reggie, thank you so much. Welcome to the show. I so appreciate that you are here with us today. Can you
Very
please
happy to
share
be
with
here.
it? Can you please share our story, your story? Sorry.
Okay, I'm a life coach, a life hacker, founder of Dreamers of the Day. I been through a lot in my life, traveled a lot, learned a lot, and I started life coaching, and I put in manifesting as a part of it. I learned I believe to more effectively do manifesting than most people do. I mean, some people they have all kinds of different ways to do it. My way is very simple, and I explain how I came upon it and some of the ways I use my own manifesting and group manifestation to help make it happen.
Okay, beautiful. So, can you share like some examples that you've used in your life to help you manifest the things that you've wanted? And then maybe are you able to share like these techniques that you use with the people that you coach that could help the people who are
Yes.
listening today?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, a few years back when manifesting and law of attraction became popular, I looked into it and read some books. I mean, I looked into positive thinking in years before that, but it really didn't make any sense to me. Why putting on some rose-colored glasses? I mean, how's that going to affect my life? I didn't
Yeah.
realize the meaning behind it, positive thinking, leads to it. I didn't understand how energy worked and how you can apply this to your own life to get what you want. Well, anyway, when the the secret came out and other things like that, it really got my attention. I could, it resonated with me. I thought there's something here, but mostly people that were teaching manifesting, it was too complicated. Or
Yeah.
you think you were finding out how to do it, and then, oh, but if you send for this more new course, give you all the fine points how to do it, and more and more and more upsell, upsell, upsell. But it's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
got lucky enough, I ran across a lady from Texas that she's
Okay.
no longer with us, but she was doing manifesting before it even became popular. She was a contest winner. Her name was Helene Hatzel. Have you ever heard of her?
After our previous conversation, I did. I started looking her up and reading her story. It's incredible. What she manifested was amazing.
Yes. And her way of doing it was so simple. It's called
Yeah.
spec. Now, she basically what happened, her journey, I'll kind of explain it, and it led her to coming up with that simplistic way of doing it. She
Yeah.
was a little housewife in Texas. She had her needs met, but she had a lot of wants. And
Yeah.
she was reading a book on positive thinking. It's written by doctors, so had to know what he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
She just accepts it because it seems like. And one part that really resonated with her, it said, "You can have anything you want, as long as you know what it is, and you see yourself as already having it." She said, "Well, that's really interesting." She talked to her husband about it, and he said, "Well, look here. He's either I can't remember if it's a magazine or a newspaper. There's a contest for an outboard motor. Her husband was a fisherman." So
Okay.
she put herself in her husband's place as a fisherman, and she wrote a little jingle for Coca Cola, and it won. And they won the outboard motor. And after that, they just won everything. I mean, they won money, prizes, trips, cars, a house, you name it, they won it. And it said that
Yeah.
she won over 5,000 prizes. Now, that may be a little hyperbole, but she won everything she ever went out to get. That's just bottom
Uh,
line. I thought, there's got to be more here than just luck. See, a lot of people they manifest and you got to take action too, which yeah, a lot of times you do.
Yeah.
But so there's something here more than just luck going on. So I started learning, and her formula was spec:
Okay.
select, project, expect, collect. Select it. What do you want to have, be, or do? Project. See yourself already having it. Now I believe in being associated, not disassociated.
Yeah.
You're really living it. You're part of it. You're like you don't, like say you want a car, you don't see yourself in the car, you see the car out in the driveway. Or if you see yourself in the car, you're in the car looking out the window.
Yeah.
Associate, make it real, right? Select, project, expect. Expect. It's just like you've ordered something online or ordered something at a restaurant. You expect it. You order it, you're going to get it. You didn't order steak and then you're going to get spaghetti. This is
Yeah.
what you ordered. It's your order. Then you collect it, which is the fun part. But remember, you have to expect it to collect it. It's called SPEC. 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 That's the basic
Right.
plan I use. And I mean, there's a lot more to my life coaching and the way I do it, but that's the basic premise of how we manifest.
Yeah. And you know what? It's so important, isn't it? Because sometimes, I mean, especially when people are going through the healing journey, like there's so much stuff that, that comes up and you're sort of dealing with a whole heap of stuff. But when you really can sit down and really look and go, you know what is it that I really want? Which was absolutely a question that I really struggled with after I'd stepped out of my situation. Is then really, like you said, really starting to select what it is that you want, expect it, that it's actually going to happen, and just really start projecting it. And then, like you said, like you're collecting it. And I even know for me that manifesting has absolutely worked for me in different ways. And I would honestly, I recommend it to everybody, but you've got to let go of that, I guess, that sort of grief first. Do you also, and would you also say, Reggie, that when it comes to the manifestation, that it's really important that you honestly feel that you deserve what you want?
Oh, yes, that's very important.
Yeah.
That's why I say I can go into detail about all winners. They basically have three, and I'll even add a fourth thing going for them. They know what they want.
Yep.
They see themselves having it. They know they're
Yeah.
going to get it. And the fourth one is attitude. Attitude is all important.
Right.
Even as far back as W.C. Fields said, there's nothing more important than attitude. Now, what exactly is attitude? To me, it's self-image. How do you see yourself? You see yourself as a winner or you see yourself as a loser? Sometimes I have to break it down to people. When a dog has a baby, what does it have? It has a dog. When a cat has a baby, what does it have? It has a cat. When a God has a baby, what does it have? Are you a child of God?
Yeah.
You got to
You
realize how
are.
special you are, how unique you are.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have been beat down. We hear over 100,000 times before we reach the age of 18, no, you're too little,
Yeah.
you're too short, you're too this, you're too that, you're too big, you're too fat, you're too long, you're whatever, wrong color, whatever. And then I come along and say, yes, you can. Now, one thing different from me, yes, yeah, that's where the work comes in. One thing
Yeah.
different from me, almost all life coaches basically teach some form of positive thinking. Me, I
Absolutely.
teach you how to think positive and the reason behind your thinking positive. Now, some people
Hmm.
say, well, I can't see how I could. Well, you don't have to see how. Forget the how. How is not important. You just have to
Yeah.
see yourself doing. But if you want a three-letter word that's important, drop the how and pick up a why. The
Okay.
why is important. Why are you doing this? The why behind it. Are you doing it for your family? You're doing it for your friends? You're doing it for yourself to prove you can finally do it. But
Yeah.
because why is all the people say I'm unmotivated. If you have a big enough why, it is your motivation. It will pull you and drag you towards your outcome. Now, see, I'm big on two things. I'm big on intent. What is your outcome? What is your uh, final destination? And instinct.
Okay. Yeah.
Your instinct is your internal compass that
Yeah.
shows you the proper way to go. Walk this way, don't walk that way. Because you have your intent, what is your outcome, what are you trying to accomplish, and your instinct, your intuition, as some people call it, it's pretty much the same thing,
Absolutely. Yeah.
guide you the way to help you guide you go. You have to learn to listen to your gut. A gut is
Yeah.
like a muscle. You have to develop it. Like
Yeah.
some people, like like you're walking down the road and some says, "Turn this way, don't turn that." Well, you always go down this way. There's no reason I shouldn't go down this way, so you dismiss it. Well, go down that way. It's not going to be as good if you went down this way. Learn to trust your gut.
Yeah. Always. And that's such a big thing. And that was even definitely something that I've really had to learn, because I guess that's something that we do absolutely switch off, because sometimes when you're listening to, I guess, your instinct is that you're like, this does not make sense. Like, what, what? You're not making
No.
any sense, like, and then all of a sudden, because you haven't listened, all of a sudden you find yourself on this path and you go, oh, okay, now this is why. So, yeah, I think it's so important, absolutely, to really listen to that intuition and really notice how you feel within yourself, especially when it's the stuff that you're manifesting. Because even, and you said it so beautifully before, like even with the why, having that why. But the other question that I always also ask is, are you doing this because somebody has told you to, or are you doing this because you feel that you should be doing it, that it's an expectation? And it's like, it's not right or wrong, it's just what feels right for you, isn't it?
Hmm. That's why I say it's big on trusting your gut,
Yeah,
uh, following your instinct, and as far as possible. Sometimes in life, it's possible. As far as possible, be yourself. Learn who you are and be yourself. Do not make compromises against yourself.
yeah,
Because, give you an example once again, like a top Olympic athlete in the Olympics. If they're a swimmer, if they put a heavy weight around their neck, they're not going to make it. They're not even going to make the tryouts. So,
yeah,
whatever's holding you back, whether it's yourself, a close friend, family member,
yeah,
well, sometimes you have to separate from them. Usually, if you start on this path, they will fall on their own. But sometimes you got to get rid of them. It can be like painful, like cutting something off. But if you
yeah,
want to succeed, you have to get. Sometimes I hate to say it, you have to get rid of the losers in your life. They're just
yeah,
going to drag you down.
yeah,
And what you want, what way the person you want to be, person you can see yourself as, is more important than
100%.
being,
Yeah,
than that. And
yeah,
besides that, it even affects your health. Your health is affected too.
yes,
People don't
yes,
realize, yeah, because compromises against yourself causes mental and emotional stress. And mental
yeah,
and emotional stress are the great killer. Like I like to point
yeah.
out, on Monday, more people die of suicide and a heart attack Monday than any other day. They cannot
That's
face
just
another week of
incredible.
their life. Yeah.
That's
So you have
incredible.
to trust your gut and, far as possible, be yourself. Do not make compromises against yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true, and the body always absolutely keeps the score. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really, that's something that's really starting to, impact me at the moment. And I was actually chatting with a lady last night, and she was saying she was in a relationship with a narcissist, and just how much she ended up with an autoimmune disease. So it's
Mhm.
so important to really look after you. You are numero uno. So it's so important. And I love, like you were saying, like letting go of what no longer serves you, really looking at, the people who are around you, who's building you up, who's going to support you with your dreams, and who's draining you. I think that's very important. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'd also like to address, I'm sure there's some people out there that they
Hmm.
think manifestation is BS.
Yeah.
And I'll address that right now. You get 100, let's just go with millionaires.
Yep.
That's not necessarily the definition of success, but let's use money
Yeah.
as a ruler right now. You got 100 millionaires, put them in a room. You have 100 different ways to become a millionaire.
Hmm.
But you break it down, even some of them that say the law of attraction and manifestation is BS, break it down what they did to get there. Almost everyone will do what I said earlier. They knew what they wanted. They
Yeah.
saw themselves already having it, and they knew they was going to get it. And they had that winning attitude.
Yeah.
Like I tell people, there's only three things you basically need to be a success in life: a wishbone, a backbone, and a funny bone. And that's actually true. And the wishbone is all important. What do you want? What do you have to do? The backbone is you're going to stay with it.
Yeah.
This is it. This is what I just said. And I tell people, you're one decision away from your future.
Yeah.
One decision away, one person away. You're that close. It's just, I mean, it's that close to you. One decision away. And the funny bone is not just having a sense of humor, which is a saving grace, but also you
Okay.
have to have fun in your life. I used to think if I could just be a success, I'd be happy. Well, I learned I can be happy right now and go on my way happily succeeding.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot better.
Well, absolutely, because happiness really is it's an inside job. Like,
Inside job.
it's also, well, it's your responsibility, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, family and friends can make us happy, and we can absolutely go and have some amazing experiences on this planet. But happiness really comes from within and just
Yes.
truly being happy. And yeah, it's so important. I think that's probably the number one thing is to really just, or even you said yourself earlier, really get to know who you are.
Well, that's what I talked about a decision. You have to make a
Yeah,
decision to be happy, a decision to be a success, a
yeah,
decision that you're going to not compromise against yourself. It's all decisions.
yeah,
We are where we are today because of our decisions, good or bad. And we're going to be what we are not going to be tomorrow by our decisions, good or bad. It's a decision
yeah,
away.
yeah,
Now, one thing
absolutely.
I'd
And
like to add, the reason I came up like the Dreamers of the Day,
oh,
because
yeah.
have you ever heard of Art Bell?
No.
Okay, he was a very popular late night radio program here in America a few years ago. I'm kind of showing my
Okay.
age, I guess. Anyway, he was very popular. And one of the things he did on his program, they were having droughts in different parts of America.
Okay.
And he had his listeners concentrate or pray for rain. He quit doing it. Every time he did it, they'd have a flood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Group intention is very
Wow.
powerful. So, how
Yeah,
can we make this work for us instead of against us? That's why I formed Dreamers of the Day, a group where it's group intention. You give the group energy, and they give you energy. And of course, you can talk together online. I have a private group besides to people that join the Dreamers today. I have a private Facebook group, and they can encourage each other and work with each other. And like I say, sooner or later, everybody's going to fall or fail or go through something. And if you have
yeah,
a good social net, they'll catch you and keep you from falling too far. Like I always
yeah,
say, uh, teamwork makes the dream work. It's not just
yeah,
saying, it's true. And you've probably heard this before. And once again, I've heard this from a lot of people. That is so true. You are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with, because
yeah,
that's the energy.
definitely.
If you hang around 4 very successful, very happy, very motivated people, you're going to be a fifth.
Yeah,
But if you
that's
hang
so
around 4
true.
losers, energy drainers, I call it energy
Yeah,
vampires, guess what?
yeah.
You're not going to be a success. Can't help yourself.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's so important. Like it really is so important. And I always say, like, it's really important just to really, because you feel it, don't you? Like you feel it when you're around somebody, whether they're draining you or whether they really are building and lifting you up. And I think this is the thing. Once you start on that journey with with getting to know yourself and especially on your healing journey, it's amazing the kind of people that you end up attracting into your life because
Yeah.
it blows my mind. I mean, who would have thought? Here we are, Reggie. We're sitting here having a conversation. You're in America, I'm here in
Yeah.
Australia. And here we are having a conversation talking about manifestation.
Like attracts like.
It certainly does. Like it blows my mind, but it's so cool because it really is, like you said, putting yourself, I guess, out there, really looking at what you want and basically why do you want it? Like what is really driving you? And I think that's the thing is making sure that it feels like it's in alignment with you.
And also, a person like we talked about earlier, like I talked about dogs and cats, you
Yeah,
have to realize who you are and what you are, and you are deserving. You are a deserving
absolutely.
person. So many
Yeah,
people get down on themselves because what their voice in their head, whatever it is, that picture they've made of their life. Now, you may not be able to get rid of that voice. You may not be able to
yeah,
get rid of that picture, but you can put a new one on top of it. That
Yeah.
voice that you say, you can't. Now you'd have a voice that says, oh, yes, I can. Watch me. And that
Yeah.
picture used to have a failure. Now you say, look at how great my life could be and will be.
Yeah.
Make it bigger and brighter than the old picture.
Yes.
And just
Yeah.
overlay it. I mean, you always say, get rid of the old pictures. Well, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but you can overlay.
Absolutely, you
Bigger,
can.
better, brighter picture.
Just copy and paste that over it.
Well, it seems silly, but yeah, you can just white it out. Sure, you can.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Like
Yeah,
that's the thing. We're all energetic beings, aren't we? So why not just create what it is that you really want?
like I tell people, I'm only half kidding about this. I say I take all my worries and go outside and put them on the worry tree. Somebody says, "Well, your worry tree is imaginary." Well, so are most of my worries.
Yes. Oh, I love that. That's such a great analogy. I love that worry, that love. Yeah, I love that. The worry tree. Just go and
Yeah,
put it
just
out
go
in the
out and
worry
hang on
tree.
the worry tree.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I think everything always works out, doesn't it? Like
Yes,
everything just, I don't know, as much as sometimes things can be so super challenging and hard, and I know there are definitely days for people where they really feel like they've hit rock bottom. Life absolutely has this amazing thing of just working itself out for you.
that's why I talked about attitude. Once you get learn who you are, because that will fill you with so much self-respect,
Yeah, yeah,
so much
yeah,
self-confidence.
yeah,
What can bother you? Bring it on.
yeah,
Bring it on.
absolutely. Yeah,
Once you realize who and
exactly.
what you are, and that is part of what like attracts like. It's going to start attracting things in your life that you want, and it's so. I mean, way back. I mean, even back before positive thinking. Anyway, there was a physical culture. Even before bodybuilding, they call them physical culture. There's a guy called A.P. Sabota. He was really the guy who taught um, Atlas, Charles Atlas. Really, where he
Okay.
got his ideas from. AP
Yep.
Sabota. And his basic thing in a nutshell was think about what you do want, don't think about what you don't want.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah.
so simple, but people don't do it. They start thinking about what could happen, what might happen, what they don't want. Now,
Yeah.
some people got positive or negative thinking. To me, positive is think about what you want, what you want to
Yeah.
have. You do.
Yeah.
Negative thinking is think about what you don't want. Think about failure. That to me is negative thinking. Now, I also have
Yeah.
another little trick I learned from Helene Hansel with negative thinking. Put a rubber band on your wrist. You start thinking
Okay.
about things you don't want, pop that sucker.
Oh, but that's a good thing.
Yes,
Oh,
it's natural for the brain to go away from pain.
yeah.
And if a
Okay.
fifth thought is causing you pain, you'll go away from it.
Yeah.
You see, some things are so basic. It's just like when you're manifesting, there's different ways of manifesting. What I like to do is find a comfortable chair. Some people can lay down, but you can do it without going to sleep and just think
Yep.
about what you
Guilty.
want, right?
Guilty of
Get
that.
a comfortable chair and start visualizing what you want in life. But put yourself in the picture, just like you're living it 360 degrees around you. You're living the life you want to live. Imagine that. Make it as
Yeah.
real as possible.
Yeah.
And that's it. But another thing you do during the day as you go around, like say you're online or scrolling, get a marble or a pebble, one that
Okay.
feels good to you, one that you found or bought one your own. That's all your own. It's your special little pebble, special little marble. And while you're going about your day, just roll that in your hand because this
Okay.
gets into your subconscious. Without thinking about what you're trying to manifest, you're doing it. You're rolling that around
Huh.
your hand, and it gets into your subconscious. And before long, you become this person you're trying to be. And that person you're becoming is going to start attracting things into your life that they want. That's how it works.
That's cool. That's cool. I actually write a letter. So I have actually written out like a letter that I read every single morning and every single evening, as well as throughout the day. I'll take time out to visualize what I want. And
Writing works for some people. It doesn't work for me as much, but if you do something like that, don't put it down on the computer. Like you say, write it out. Put it in
yeah, write
cursive.
it out.
because
Yeah.
you use far more muscles in cursive. So
Yeah.
you're putting subconsciously a lot of thought into this writing out of
Yeah.
you got your wish, your want, whatever.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah.
want to bring into your life, that works for a lot of people. I don't use that, but that has been used by people I know very effectively.
Yeah, and I have found that it has really worked for myself. And like one example was I was selling my previous property, and I said that basically I'd put in my letter that it sells really easily to some amazing buyers. I get a record price for it. And you know what? It sold on its first open day. I got a record price for it. So it was, yeah, that came through. When I was then looking at coming into getting my new property, I I couldn't afford at that particular time to buy in the areas that I wanted to. Well, I could have, but I would have left myself short and I would have had to borrow more money. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to put myself in that. So, in my letter, I kept saying, I find the perfect property in the right location for an affordable price. It's got everything I need, and I'd listed everything that I wanted. And anyway, I was not in the location I wanted to be in, but it turned
Right.
out it's exactly where I need to be. I've got an amazing property, and I'm really happy. So it really is so empowering to start looking at what you want, not what you don't want. Like
Right.
you said, don't focus. We don't because when we focus on what we don't want, that tends to it comes into your
Exactly.
life. So just really focus on what you want. So yeah, it's I love manifestation. I think it's such a
Yeah.
powerful tool.
And I'll explain something to people that are not used to manifestation that sometimes it can drop into your lap like a fairy's gift.
Yeah.
That's very possible. But usually you have to take some kind of step to get it. Now, that's one thing I talk about, like instinct, because that helps direct you which steps to take
Mm,
because you have your intent and you have your instinct working together. And also, how much is work and how much is manifestation? Well, there's no percentage. I'm not an accountant. It's a dance. They work
yeah.
together, they flow together. Now, I'll
Yeah.
give you an example. Like some people want to win the lottery. And I
Yep.
assume, well, do you want to win the lottery or do you want to be a multimillionaire? See, the how is not
Mm,
important.
yep.
See, your outcome is important. Now, I'll talk about taking action or not. There's a story I love to tell. There's this guy, I tell it all the time. There's this guy who was praying to win the lottery. And he prayed and prayed. It's an earnest prayer. He's very sincere. Talking about what he's going to do at the winnings, how, all the good works he's going to do at the winnings. And he prayed and prayed. Well, days went into weeks and weeks went into months. He wasn't winning. And he said, Lord, why are you letting me win the lottery? I've been praying and praying. And that night, the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said, have you considered buying a ticket? So, yes, sometimes you have to do your part.
Absolutely. Absolutely you do. uh I love that. It's such a great story because it is. It's so true,
Mhm.
isn't it? You still do need to take some action towards what you want.
Yeah. Another great story I like to tell about um, just what I do as a life coach. Here's this story that explains what I do. Okay.
Okay.
There's this farm kid on a farm, and a stray horse came up.
Okay.
Well, they didn't know whose horse it was, but the kid got up on the horse and put him on the road. Now, occasionally the horse would go off the road and try to eat grass, but he'd get him back on the road. Before long, they saw a farmhouse. And the farmer said, how'd you know where I lived? How'd you know it was my horse? He said, I didn't know, but the horse knew the way home. All I had to do was keep him on the road.
That's so cool. It
Most people
is,
know what
isn't it?
they want, and they pretty much have a good idea how they can get it. All I got
Yeah.
to do is keep them on the road.
Yeah. I like that. And that is the beautiful thing, isn't it? Like with what you do is absolutely helping others to really just keep them on that pathway and helping them, every time that they hit a speed bump and reminding them that they are worthy and that they are valuable and that they really do deserve the very best in life. So, yeah,
Now, as a life coach, I do have a lot of other things. I also talk about nutrition and exercise. And like I give my ideas, they may not be their ideas, and they don't have to implement my ideas. They don't have a different way they want to do it. Go ahead and do it.
yeah,
But I have very simple, I consider effective ways for exercise. And it may not make you Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's going to make you better than you are. And eating and nutrition. Now, I would say, like, when it comes to nutrition, though, there are no hard and fast rules because they
yeah,
had a study of a whole bunch of people that were in their hundreds. They were still healthy, good health, and they were trying to find what is the common denominator. Well, it was not nutrition because they all ate different, but they
wow,
all had certain things in common. They had a good attitude about life. They didn't take things too serious, and they hardly ever saw a doctor.
wow, that's so
That's
cool.
the common denominator. I mean,
Yeah,
some people were vegetarians, some people were meat eaters. It was all over the place. So, like I said, there are no hard and fast rules. I tell people, myself, I'd say the closer you get to like organic, and myself, I like kosher. I'm not Jewish, but I like kosher food. I think it's very healthy to eat that way and organic. But what works for you? Like, give you an example: a pregnant woman will have a craving. That's
yeah,
your gut instinct. Once again, she knows some part of this food the baby needs.
yeah,
Well, if you're not overdoing it, you know what foods works for you.
yeah.
It's overdoing. It's like eating enough to get that part in that your body needs, but not overdoing it. Like,
That's
can
it.
you take a piece of chocolate cake without eating the chocolate cake? That's not what it comes down to. But if you do want to eat the chocolate cake, don't feel guilty. Eat that chocolate cake, then get back on the
Yeah.
bicycle tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the important thing is to stop beating yourself up. Stop
There's
criticizing yourself. Like just take a break
that's
on
another
that.
thing. That's another thing I tell people. Don't ever beat up on yourself. There are plenty of people who do that for you. There's people lined
Oh,
up down the door.
absolutely.
They'll happily
Yeah.
beat up on you. So don't
Yeah.
beat up on yourself.
No.
It's not
I
your job.
actually no, it's not. I actually had a client the other day. She sent me a message and she's like, "You always build me up." She goes, "I'm just waiting for you to basically, you know, pull me down and tell me that, I'm not good enough." And I said, "But that's not my role. My role is not to criticize you. Your journey is your journey. I already know how much you criticize yourself. Why would I add to that? That's not like I don't even criticize myself anymore. So why am I going to start criticizing you? So I this is where it becomes so important to become your own best friend and really get to know who you are. And I mean,
Oh,
look, I make mistakes and I'll analyze stuff, if I and but if I feel like I've done the wrong thing or if I have upset somebody, well then I will it's my role then and my responsibility to make it right. But yeah, like just stop beating yourself up. You don't need to. Start pouring love into yourself.
sometimes you have to bring them back to their past. I say, when you were
You
learning to
do.
walk, which you probably don't remember, when you fell down, was that the end of it? You said, well, this walking thing's not for me. And the
I
parents said, well, I
probably
guess you
did
weren't meant to be a
actually.
walker. But you fell down, which I
That's
had a
very
lot of that coming up. It's like, with my parent, like if like you threw a ball at me, if I didn't hit it with the bat, well, I wasn't meant to be a baseball player. Like no hardly few skills are, you gotta work at most skills. But
yeah.
just how my dad was is like sink or swim.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You do.
And then like back in school, like us, I thought I was bad in certain subjects. No, I wasn't. I just had a bad teacher. I found out later on it's not me, it was the teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because
not
you
only
find
that,
out, yeah.
sorry.
No, that's okay. Interrupt
Oh,
anytime you
I was
want.
just gonna say sometimes those subjects were not interesting. I couldn't resonate with them. I found them boring as. So I'm not gonna put into any effort into something that I go,
And a lot of times it's the teacher. The teacher's boring. Like
Yeah,
history can be a fascinating subject. You can learn a lot
yeah,
from history. But when it's taught in school, oh, you just
Yeah.
want to die.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, oh, please.
And I
Yeah.
don't know about in Australia, but I notice quite often, like the history class here in America is taught by the football coach. So
Oh,
obviously, the
wow.
school doesn't take that serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, no, no, I can't say it look very well could be happening here. I don't know. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Where can people find you if they want to be able to follow you, join
Okay.
your like coaching? How can they reach
Dream,
out?
Dreamers of the Day is the best place. You go to our dream is the letter R, small case, dream,
Okay.
DREAM, is.com. Our dream is. It's not OUR, it's just the letter R, small case,
Yep.
dreamis.com. And I can be found
Okay.
all over social media. I can be found on TikTok. I can be found on Facebook. I can be found on X, used to be Twitter.
Okay.
And some of the others I'm on too, but I'm not on as often. And I'm far on like Facebook or X far more often than the other social media. But I'm over it. I'm easy to find. Get in touch with me. If you need further explanation, need more information about Dreamers of the Day, be more than happy to tell you what I know. But it's right there. You can go right there and join up. And then once you join up, you can get into the private group on Facebook. And after that, you get the backing. You get a coach, yay me, and a team, and help get there. Like I say, would you try to play a football game without a coach and a team? Would
Yeah.
you try to play baseball team? Any kind of game, coach and team. You can do it on your own, but it's always easier with a team. Helene Hatzel used to say, when you get serious about this thing, join a group. Now, she joined a group of contesters. Now, if you join my group, join some group. But this
Yeah.
goes a lot easier if you join a group. And like I say, with you, group manifestation is like manifestation on steroids. So the
Yeah.
decision is yours. I'm here, help you any way I can.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I will also put that in the notes. When I'm describing the episode, I will also put in the link so that they can find you. So I will absolutely do that. Reggie, thank you so much for
I like
a
to leave
very
people with this.
yes,
You are one decision away from your future.
absolutely.
It's that
You
simple.
are.
One decision away.
Yep. You absolutely are. Thank you. Honestly, thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. I've so enjoyed talking with you today. I really
Oh,
have.
I had
So
fun.
yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Like I said, I will put Reggie's information in with the podcast when I upload it. So again, Reggie, thank you. Thank you to everybody
Oh,
listening
you're
and
welcome.
wishing you all a wonderful day.